Good morning to you guys on a finally flippin' Friday. Oh, it's been one heck of a week. We have done a lot this week, not only with On Patrol, but our storm coverage. I am waiting for the wall to present itself to me because I could see it. I'm talking about that wall where you're just like, ugh, dead. We are out on patrol today here in the East Orange County side. I'm along Curry Ford right now, stopped in a parking lot to get this party started, and Angel sent us a message about Curry Ford between Dean and Alafaya. Now, before I continue, once I saw Curry Ford, I already knew it was going to be this section. Why did I know that? Because my first couple of years, I'd come out here a lot because of the fatal crashes that we would have, the extreme high speeds, and I would come out here as a working trooper and conduct enforcement early morning hours, and then midday, I'm talking like 2:30, 3 o'clock, because we're dealing with 4 lanes of traffic, 2 eastbound, 2 west, a large grass median, and then very nice shoulders. I mean that in a traffic way. The shoulders of the roadway are large sidewalks, and I'm not saying anything bad about this, but what this sometimes does, it gives drivers a extremely false sense of speed, a false sense that, hey, I can do whatever I want. This also occurs a lot along Narcoossee, south of the 417 area, because it's such a large road, residential. Then you go into Osceola County, and it's NASCAR out there. So, but there was a unique part about being out here today, was that Angel told us that there are residents out here that hold up signs occasionally, and really with signs saying please slow down, school in session, things like that. And I'm like, wow, I love that. It happened to me once along Apopka Vineland in the Dr. Phillips area, writing and doing enforcement on my motorcycle out there, and I had stopped one car, only one, and the guy told me I should have listened, and I was like, yeah, to the street sign. And he's like, no, there were 2 guys up ahead on bicycles about a quarter mile with signs saying slow down, a trooper up ahead. And he thought I would get pissed off, but I didn't. I was actually really excited about that, because look, I can be brutally honest with you, and you could believe me or not. There's nothing exciting about writing tickets. Nothing about it. The action of the fact that I have to stop another adult is just ridiculous. But we do it because it is the most effective. When you hit someone in their wallet, they tend to slow down. And then you have that talk with them. And it's just crazy the amount of citations that could get written in the same spot. It dies down and then it starts over again. But that's why I would come out here. This is highly residential. You're splitting Waterford Lakes with Central Orange County with Curry Ford, and there's just a lot. So enough of me talking. Let's go patrol it. Let's see if we can find these amazing residents that are out here, and see if anybody's doing it. So speed limit's 45 miles an hour. I do not have my radar gun with me today, just because, well, I have no excuse. It's been a long week. Not all my equipment is fully into the vehicle, and I apologize. So we will be cruising out here, visual estimations of speed, and seeing what kind of behaviors we see out here. It is currently 8:35, and we're going to head eastbound here along Curry Ford. And there are even speed signs out here, but that, like, digital speed signs giving drivers an indication of how fast they're going. So we're cruising right now. I have a set 45 miles an hour, which is the speed limit. And we're going to use our speed as pretty much the judgment of everybody else out here. I'm going to shut our driving lights off so people don't look at us and they just do what they do. But I am hopeful that we find one of these amazing people. So you can see here, there is a digital speed sign telling drivers what their speed limit is. Look, we're cruising at 44 miles an hour, 1 mile under the speed limit. So I'll just knock it up 1 on the cruise control here, and we'll keep on cruising. not too much of heavy traffic, but this is a big cut through for residents that live in Waterford Lakes, and they cut this way to get to 417. Not a bad thing. But when you have Andover Elementary School right here at Curry Ford and Sanctuary Point Boulevard, drivers should be on their absolute best behavior. It blows my mind. I use that term a lot, but I hope my mind never literally blows up. But it's the people living out here that are always causing the problems. And if this is what Results One ultimately accomplishes, is me telling other drivers in their own community that they're the ones causing the problem, then so be it. I don't care. That's what we're going to do. Because the only way to understand that there is a problem is seeing it and knowing where it's coming from, and then getting some smart aleck like me to tell you what the solution is. So you can see cones out here. What does that mean? It's construction zone. It's not active. I don't see anybody out here right now. But you could see that how easy it would be to speed out here. I'm just really hoping we find these amazing residents, if they happen to be out here, bright and early on a Friday. You guys caught me yesterday jamming out a little bit before the live. I had my music going. I always forget that they put the stream up a few minutes before I start talking to you, jamming out. What do we got? Apple Music's been creating my own playlist. I kind of like it. So Cypress Springs 2 off to the left here as we're cruising. It is absolutely stunning outside. That car going a little quick south, westbound. So a lot of people would be like, Steve, how are you able to determine someone's speed off your eyes? So I'm not saying we can write a ticket off our eyes. I'm not saying that I am 100% accurate either. What I am saying is when you go to radar and laser school, they teach you not to be solely dependable on the device. It's a two-part system. One, the visual estimation of the vehicle via the enforcing police officer, deputy, or state trooper, and then the confirmation with the device. A law enforcement officer must visually estimate a vehicle's speed before confirming it on a radar or a laser or any type of speed measuring device. This sounds to some be like, why don't you just use it? Well, you've got to hit the steps. That's what the court system has determined, case law has determined, and that's just how it works. So when you go to speed enforcement school, it's probably the most boring experience of my life, but in return you get to use a really pretty useful tool and you learn a lot. So radar school was like, I think 2 days, 2 or 3 days. It was a long time ago, 2010, and we're gonna get turned around, sorry. And it's always interesting to me that people are like, well, you don't know how fast I was going. Well, when I looked at your car, I estimated your vehicle's speed well over the posted speed limit. If I was enforcing this zone at a 45 mile an hour, me personally, I'm looking for drivers doing 15 or more, obviously if it's not a construction or active school zone. When we do this kind of stuff, it is an officer discretion. You don't have a supervisor out there saying, you must write this ticket. You must stop cars at this speed. That is the benefits of not only the law and the law enforcement instructions, but being a police officer, you can exercise discretion like that car. That car was flying. 65, easy, 65 mile an hour. Heavy brakes, no seatbelt. I'll never understand it. If you're going to do stuff wrong, I tell people to do one thing at a time wrong in your car. Because if not, you're considered, you choose the word, what you consider them. So speed, you load up a school bus or a bus of some type or a van with 10 or 15 law enforcement officers and you go to a zone. You frequent a few different places and you have a sheet. And a instructor is calling your name and asking you to visually estimate. And then in return, that instructor is confirming the speeds, and they're writing down. You have to be either within 2 above or 2 below visually on all your estimations to ultimately pass the school. And then you get, over the years, you get really good at it. You're able to determine a vehicle's speed pretty accurately and then confirming it. So you're eliminating just solely relying on the equipment itself. Really good way of doing things, and it's very beneficial, very beneficial. So, all right, let's head back west on Curry Ford from Alafaya Trail. And you can see what I was talking about. So it's a wide roadway, an extremely large, very visually appealing median, and then your large shoulders here. So for your pedestrians, like I said, this is non-commercial. So from Alafaya, Curry Ford, east and westbound, all the way towards 417 is considered a residential area. Hence why the speed limit is 45 miles an hour. A lot of people ask me how do they determine speeds on roads? And there are a lot of factors that come into it. What type of infrastructure is in the area? What's the closest residence to the roadway? Are there schools? Things like that. So this is why Curry Ford is a 45 mile per hour zone. And they have gone out of their way to even put those electric speed signs. See? Right here. It's kind of back and forth between 45, 46. And we're just cruising here. This is great. So let's look at these vehicles coming at us. You've got that red Camry cruising at or below the Subaru, the white Subaru on the left there. Nice. Camry comes to a complete stop. And then this Mazda. Okay, look. Even though I am doing exactly the speed limit, that vehicle could be doing about 4 over. In the totality of the world and of the traffic department, really not egregious. Are they violating the speed limit at the end of the day? Yes. But am I going to go after someone like that? Is law enforcement going to sit here and really go after that driver? Probably not. Now, if they were in a construction zone or a school zone, then yeah, you're probably going to get the attention. Zero tolerance within a construction or school zone. I've always been like that. Anything 3 to 4 mile an hour in a school zone, I'm going to talk to you. And you might be like, man, Steve, that's kind of harsh. I don't care. You've got lights, you've got speed signs, and it's a school zone. There should be zero question about any of that. And you can see kids waiting on the shoulder over here, hanging out for their school bus. We're actually going to get turned around, but this is funny because look how fast this guy's coming. Right by me, well in excess of the speed limit. It just makes no sense to me. He's probably doing 55 to 60. All because they can. Like, it's confusing. So they're passing the digital sign. 62 miles an hour. 62 in a 45 zone is what that read. That makes me angry. It really does. Because they probably live out here too. I'm actually going to get turned back around because that school bus stop over there, I want to see if any of the parents out there may have had run-ins or something like that before. So let's get turned back around before we wrap this up out here. I know these streams go real quick. We're allotted a 20-25 minute stream to get to where we want and just talk about the topic. And the good part is it's simply just talking about it. And that's what it's about. I do think this school bus is probably headed towards to pick up those kids over there. And we're going to head back over there and see if any parent or anything wants to talk to us. I'm almost 100% that the school bus behind us is headed in this direction. It is humid. So if you're just joining us, good morning. We are on the east side of Orange County along Curry Ford, east of 417. And we are patrolling Curry Ford here. Viewers sent in saying speeds are crazy, and there are residents that come out with signs occasionally and ask drivers to slow down. I love the idea. I love the concept of that. So that's why we're out here today. We're going to pull off here real quick into this neighborhood because there are people all over the place. This is another thing. See how close these kids are to the road? They should really consider sitting back a little bit. Alright, I'm going to see if this dad wants to talk to us. I see him sitting here waiting for his kids. Loading up on the school bus. There's a mom right here. We'll park in front of this unit real quick. I'm going to jump out real quick and just talk and see if the mom or somebody wants to chat with us. And then we'll go from there. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to run out and see if this guy wants to talk. Alright guys, sorry about that, but it looks like the residents are a little shy in the morning, and it's totally okay. But listen, I talked to a mom and I talked to a dad. So this was a middle school pickup just now. And they both said the same thing. I was talking to them individually and didn't know what I asked them. And it was weird because usually you get, yes, people speed or something. They both said the same thing. I go, do you see any type of issue out here? And quote from the gentleman, everyone speeds. Quote from the lady, everyone speeds out here. Wow. And she goes, that's the only reason I come out here every single morning with her 8th grader. Middle school 8th grader. This is a fairly safe side here.
Hi, stranger.
I know you. I'm currently live streaming, so I could say hi to you in like 2 minutes.
You're good. I live here.
Oh, okay. Pull up behind the thing over here. Gotta love it. So, people, and she walks her son up here every single morning because of the way people drive. Now, neither of them said they've ever seen the people with the signs, but it's all about just being being very aware. I was out here, how many times did we get past? So I'm gonna make this a hot topic because I'm really interested to find these individuals who are holding the signs, because I think what they're doing is amazing. So guys, I love y'all. Be safe. Have an amazing, safe Labor Day weekend. And as always, please wear your seatbelt.